Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode here. Today I want to go into detail on broke thinking. So it is running rampant out there, and I hear it. I hear people talking, and their speech is a direct reflection of their thinking. And I've got areas in my life which struggle from this as well. That's how I discovered this broke thinking thought process, through reading, studying, and trying to develop myself on a daily basis. So one of them is we instill a lot of limiting beliefs on ourselves, and we look up to them. So whether it's I can't do that because, or somebody else is doing that and they do it better than me, so I can never do what I need to do, in fear of somebody else doing it better, or somebody else is better at that specific thing, or there's too many people in that space. Sometimes we will create these excuses or stories to back up and support the reasons why we're not getting stuff done. So in school, I had one that was, I'm bad at spelling. And I never really realized that this was kind of instilled into me, and that I actually believe it. And currently, in the past, I'll say it, I'm going to change my thoughts. I was bad at spelling, right? So, and I was super thankful for autocorrect. And the reality is I just didn't make spelling important. So what I would do is I created a story that I'm bad at spelling, right? But somewhere this came from school, or somebody else told me maybe I failed the spelling test. I'm sure I probably failed many spelling tests. And that is what led to me creating a reason, which is actually an excuse in disguise to justify my reason for poor spelling. In reality, I could, or an alternative, I'll say, I could have just studied, I could have practiced, and I could have got better at spelling. So this sort of thing, I want you to be conscious of the things that you say to yourself of where you're struggling. So if you've got goals and you're trying to achieve something great, and what's stopping you, what is that story that you created that you tell yourself that's stopping you from achieving what you want to do? That is broke thinking. So, I can't do that because I don't have enough money to get there. I don't have the connections. I don't know enough people. I don't, all these excuses, right? I don't have it. Those are the reasons. That is the broke thinking. So instead of, I don't have, what do I have that can move me forward and propel me toward getting what I want? What can I do to get to where I want to go? What can I use? What do I currently have to get started? Maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's studying, maybe it's, focusing, maybe it's exercise, whatever it is. If you look at where you are at today compared to where it is that you want to go, I'm sure there's a big gap between the two. And a lot of times we will look at people that are super successful on a very high level, and we're not looking at the gap of where they were to where they got. So then we make excuses for ourselves as to why we can't get there. There is value in you. You are great. You're an awesome creation. You can do whatever you put your mind to. You get what you focus on. Which drives me to another thing, you get what you focus on. So if you have that broke thinking that says, hey, I can't do this because, the food I eat, I got this health problem, whatever it is, that's your thought process, and it becomes your reality, and it becomes your truth. You live up to the words that come out of your mouth, and the words that come out of your mouth are a direct reflection of the way you think. So become conscious of those things. Again, I was talking to somebody recently, and the spelling thing came up, and I told them, I said, hey, don't ask me for spelling tips, right? I'm terrible at spelling. And I intentionally, without even thinking of it, unconsciously cursed myself to be bad at spelling. When you give yourself direction from your mouth, you automatically command your mind to think a certain way. And in that case, I told myself to be bad at spelling. So how can I expect a different result? How can you expect to get better at something if you're not doing anything to get better at it? So there's just tons of broke thinking, and I think broke thinking is the number one cause of death today, because thought process drives action. So whether it's poor eating, poor diet, alcohol, addiction, suicide, all these things are a reflection of the way that people think. And the way we think is what drives our actions. And some people let these poor negative thoughts just run rampant until they reach the point of unfortunately death. So the cool thing is we can help people. You, me, everybody. we can help people. And it starts with, obviously, I'm trying to do the best I can to do better for myself and kind of record and share the journey. And hopefully it helps somebody else. But these ways of thinking, I'm telling you, if you just listen and pay attention, not only to what you're saying, but listen to what other people say, and you'll see that these language patterns are what's creating their lifestyle, and the people really believe what they're saying, and it's because they believe it that they're living up to it. So literally, with our words, with our thoughts, we set the limitation for our life, and what we think and speak about creates our reality. So be on the lookout. People that say, oh, I'll never be rich. Oh, I could never make it. Oh, I'll never have enough money. Oh, it would take me 20 years. That's broke thinking. And you're getting exactly what you asked for. So if instead we would say, hey, how could I do that? And instead of 10 years, how could I do that in 2 years? What can I do to make more money? You're going to get different answers. So if you ask your mind different questions, you will get different answers. So it's very empowering to just ask yourself empowering questions instead of disempowering questions. So instead of saying, how come I'm broke? How come I don't have the things I want? Ask, how can you get it? What can you do to change the outcome of the results that you're getting? What can you do to move forward? What are some of the things that you could do today to change your life? What is, one or two things that can move you closer to your goal? If you ask yourself those questions, your mind will deliver you the answers, and then you have to do them. And then if you start doing them, you will start getting the results. The other challenge that comes after that is the time that it takes to achieve these results. We live in a society, a day where we want stuff so fast, and we get deterred when we don't get what we want right away. And the reason it's like that, I believe part of it is that all we see a lot is the end results of people that are famous, people that influence us, right? The leaders or maybe some people that we desire to be like, or that goal. It just seems so far away. But baby steps is how you get there. And it is baby steps. So that means that it's going to take some time for you to be able to get where you want to go. But that should not deter you from taking the steps. As long as time is going to continue to go on, you might as well be stepping and moving toward your goal. So hopefully that added some sort of value to you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, and thank you for tuning in.